Hey everybody, welcome back to the Frustrated Rockstars. You are lambs for always tuning in to us. That's Jeff, I'm Justin, in case you're wondering. And we're the Frustrated Rockstars, celebrating at least number 33 here.
We're in our 30s now.
We're in our 30s.
Just like in real life.
Yeah, just like in real life. The hairline's receding a little bit on the show, but I think no worse for the wear.
We are live on MP4 at the On the Rocks Tavern in Sandy Springs, Georgia. Thank you so much for joining us. We do talk and roll. We talk music.
Yeah, and we are trying to get big even without a manager.
Yes. Manager.
Jeff, manager. Does that make you think of anything?
Aren't segues great? Yeah, tonight's topic is the great managers in rock and roll.
Great managers in rock and roll.
You hear a lot of bad
Sound
ones.
effects.
You hear a lot of stories about bad ones, ripping off their artists, signing bad deals.
Right.
Lou Pearlman.
He just had his settlement came in today. How much he owes?
It's something like,
It's ridiculous. It's hundreds of millions.
Lou Pearlman was the manager of all the boy bands.
Transcontinental Incorporated was the name of his company.
Right.
He put all the boy bands together.
Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, like he was the guy back
and was
then.
milking them dry.
Well, I remember when that Backstreet Boys was so big. You and I were in the store looking at it, and you go, "Look, everybody's getting paid except for these guys." So those are the bad managers.
Right.
There's a lot of stories in those. Let's talk about some of the good managers.
Well, the first one that I can think of course, is Peter Grant from Led Zeppelin.
Yes.
He's everyone's first, I would think. Him or Brian Epstein.
Yeah. Well, Brian Epstein from the Beatles, I think, was the first one that was known. Like he was like on TV, and he was everyone knew him.
He came up with the suit look.
Yeah.
They didn't have the suits till Brian Epstein, so he's famous kind of for that innovation.
Yeah, and Peter Grant is famous for turning the tables with concert promoters.
Right.
Before it'd be, they would pay you a flat rate, an artist, to play a venue, and then Peter Grant's like, no, we'll take a percentage in our favor.
Right.
Like it was like either the promoter would get, 90%, the artist would get 10%. Peter Grant's like, no, you'll take 10, we'll take 90, because it's a guaranteed, you're gonna get a guaranteed sellout. And there's a great a shot of him in the movie The Song Remains the Same. They have some backstage footage, and he's like there at Madison Square Garden, and Peter Grant's like, he's big huge guy.
I was about to say, he's very
and he's shaking down some vendor that's selling posters illegally somewhere on the premises, and he's like just really like that. You didn't know what's going on here in this venue, huh? It's great.
Right. So he was known as a strong arm tactic kind of guy, and Suge Knight of the 70s. He was a Suge Knight of the 70s.
Yeah, but he had a little more. He was a little more legit. I mean,
okay, maybe.
I mean, another one that I've just kind of read about recently, or I've gotten into recently because I was on an Eagles kick, is Irving Azoff.
Irving Azoff,
and he's not only manager.
He's got a list,
not only that, but he ran MCA Records in the '80s. He started out working for David Geffen in the early '70s when David Geffen had a management company and a record label, and then he ended up managing the Eagles throughout the 70s, and then now he's got Jewel, Bush, REO Speedwagon, Neil Diamond, Van Halen. Mm-hmm. And I'd like to have him talk with him about that. Steely Dan,
sure.
And he's just recently signed on as the manager of Guns N' Roses.
So that's a second,
which is basically Axl Rose.
Right. But you got to wonder how much hands-on managing he does with that.
I mean, how do you have
clients like that?
Yeah, that's what I don't get. Well, it's his company represents him, so.
If Eddie Van Halen's on line 1 and Jules on line 2, which call do you take?
Well, I guess it depends on who's doing the most.
Well, I guess Van Halen
Obviously,
right now.
Eddie gets the priority now. What if Wolfgang calls? I hope he hangs up on him. No offense, Wolfie. I mean, we love you, but
yeah.
So I guess if Michael Anthony calls Irving, he hangs up.
It's a dirty business, man.
Yeah. So
business end of it.
Yeah, there are.
Basically, a manager, though, from what books the gigs, makes sure they're there, cleans up their messes.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess when you get big enough, you get a road manager too. But when you wreck the hotel room.
Oh yeah, that's all the road manager stuff.
Right.
Yeah, he cleans up the business messes. You get sued, or you want to make sure you're not getting ripped off, and.
But they're usually screwing you too.
Right. Well, it goes both ways. They got to screw people, and you're one of them sometimes. So I don't know.
I don't know how you can make sure you're getting paid your money when you're a big rock star.
I could watch it.
How could you watch every T-shirt,
Well, you can't. I mean, there's going to be some
fan
skimming.
Club.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be some skimming, but for the most part, Mick Jagger, I heard, goes to meetings with notepads all the time, and of course they don't get screwed on anything.
Right.
So there you go. There's managers, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And if you'd like to manage us,
mention something that we haven't mentioned. There's a million. We didn't talk about Bella Coyne. I mean, there's so many.
Oh yeah, Bill Coyne.
Yeah,
Managed
Kiss, and you know, there's a million of them.
Yeah.
If we missed some, please let us know. Send it to
info@thefrustratedrockstars.com or leave comments. And
just next week you could be on
commentary. We have some new segments here.
Commentary.
You haven't joined us in a while,
Yeah.
but first, in the noise.
In the noise, not in the news.
Here is breaking news.
Uh-oh.
Just out today, the Bare Naked Ladies lead singer and guitarist Stephen Page arrested and charged with cocaine possession.
Now, where was he?
He was in Fayetteville, New York.
Like at a bus station?
In an apartment. Wait.
Oh, in his apartment?
Was he in an apartment party?
An apartment song.
The police broke into the old apartment.
That's weird.
That's a good one.
So
the way we do it is...
Well, he's a rock star.
Yeah, you sign it, drop it, and promote it. What do you think with this?
I drop it. Nobody cares about the Bare Naked Ladies except for a handful of people that listened to them in the 90s, right? I mean, they're pretty much done. They're opening for Sister Hazel at a chili cook-off. Right.
Yeah, it's funny. All those 90s bands are now the chili cook-off bands.
Right. They laughed at us, at our 80s bands when they were doing chili cook-off.
Yeah.
Sweet justice. But so I say drop it. It's not very newsworthy because he's not very newsworthy. And, you know, a balding, he's got to be 40.
Oh, yeah, I guess.
Now it's sad to get busted with coke. Now if he was 23,
yeah,
hot on the new album, people are, you know.
Yeah, then it'd be.
He's no Amy Winehouse.
Yeah. I say sign it. Any press is good press. I think that them in the news is fine. This isn't that big of a deal. It happens all the time.
Yeah, but I think if anything, it damages because that being in the news is not going to bring any new fans. The old fans they got are now have families and are in their 40s, and to hear that.
Well, no, they probably think, oh, God, I wish I was there.
Yeah. Hey, I'm still cool, too. I could get busted with cocaine in a Fayetteville apartment.
Yeah.
Heck, I'm in a Fayetteville apartment right now doing cocaine.
Okay, I sign it.
All right. So is that enough? You had enough?
That's it.
Hey,
That's
Bill,
it.
what about, let's get to the comment.
Oh, and now it's time for commentary.
This is where we address you, the listener.
This is regarding the Songwriters podcast that we just did a couple of weeks ago. It's from Need a Cool Username. It says, I'm really glad you mentioned Quincy. Now, what I thought was fascinating about this is I barely mentioned Quincy. We were talking about songwriters that people don't really know.
Quincy Jones, obviously.
Yeah. And I was mentioning Ron Temperton, who wrote a lot of the Michael Jackson songs and a lot of funk songs, and he worked with Quincy Jones. That's all I said. I said he hooked up with Quincy. And so Need a Cool Username pick that out. So I was first of all, I was ego-wise, I was like, hey, people are really listening to us.
Yeah.
That was really cool. But yeah, Quincy Jones definitely not really known much as a, well, I mean, he is, but not as much as a songwriter as he is a producer.
Right.
I mean, so of course, he's got songwriting credits out the wazoo.
Right.
But, and then of course the funny one is the obscure, or the funny song that he wrote.
What?
The
It's
theme,
My Party?
No, the theme to Sanford and Son.
Yeah.
Quincy Jones.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's just.
That's a funny. That's a funny
fact. That's a fun fact.
Fun fact. Okay.
It's a fun fact. That's
I didn't see the humor in it, but yeah, it's a very recognizable piece of music. Probably made him a fortune.
Oh well, I mean,
probably made more off that than Billie Jean.
Well, so anyway, leave your comments wherever you want, YouTube, or email us info@thefrustratedrockstars.com and see everything at the website.
And we'll see if we can come up with a cool name for you, or wish you a happy birthday, or help you do your taxes, whatever we can do.
Yeah, we'll give shout-outs.
Yeah, we'll do shout-outs. We're not above shout. We never could do shout-outs in all our radio careers. Remember, first thing they always tell you when you're radio, no shout-outs.
Give me a break.
Now we can do shout-outs all we want. It's the magic of podcasting.
We love it. So send it on over, and thank you so much for watching. We will catch you next time.